It's one thing for a game producer to try and put into a game what they think is realistic. For us, that's not acceptable. We are going to use professional racing drivers to tell us this is what it's like to drive a car. If they're not happy with it, we're going to make changes. We've had several racing drivers working on Shift to Unleash. Tommy Milner has given a lot of feedback. Vaughn Gittin Jr. helped to shape the drifting experience. And Edward Sandstrom has been instrumental in setting up all the cars.
Racing isn't sterile, it's gritty, it's violent, it's exhausting. We wanted to immerse players into that real environment.
Team Need for Speed is a testing platform for us to understand what it's like to drive racing cars. Everything that we learned through operating the team is put back into the game.
Nobody ever gets to experience my cars but me, and that's something that I've always wanted other people to get to experience. You know, it's kind of hard to just grab somebody and say, here, jump in this 1,400 horsepower all-wheel drive maniac machine. But something like this, you guys have actually captured what it's like, the sound, visual. You can see everything that's going on, seeing the fireballs come out of the exhaust and the hood. To me, it's amazing.
Realism of the actual tracks, what we as drivers actually see, is the most amazing thing.
Driving at night feels like you're going twice as fast. You lose almost all your references, and you just sort of drive blind at that point.
Shift 2 Unleashed has an incredible view. It's called the helmet cam.
Definitely realistic feature of the game. And the biggest part of that, I think, is the head movement and the look to the apex, which, if you look at helmet cam video, you'll see that it's the same motions.
Drifting, we're actually looking out the side windows. So once the car gets sideways and you're turning, you move your head to see where you're going. It's very realistic, really puts you in the driver's seat. Your palms get sweaty and you feel adrenaline. That's very incredible for a game to accomplish.
The commitment has to be absolute. The car has to be sound. And the driver, it's got to be sharp as a razor. Now I enter into a turn at about 190 miles an hour. It really takes knowing that corner like you know the own palm of your hand. Every contour in it, where you can brake, where you can't brake, when you can get back to the throttle, where you can turn in. A little bit too much brake, the car's sideways. Not enough brake, gonna fly off the apex. So that fine line is knowing how far you can push and pushing it there, and not pushing it a millimeter too far. A good driver knows that if he pushes a little bit too hard, it could cost him the race, and it could cost him his life. There's many signs that are given to a driver. A lot of them come in the form of feel. Some of them come in the form of the sounds that the car and the tires are making. And anytime you're entering into a high speed, what could be a deadly turn, if the tires aren't at that edge where they're telling you, I'm getting ready to let go, and you nail that turn-in point, and you nail that apex, and you nail that track-out point to the inch, if the car the whole time while you're doing that isn't screaming bloody murder, you're not at 10 tenths. And you need to push a little harder. A corner in my eyes is any time a car has to deviate from straight. There's many corners out there that are famous, and there's a lot more that are infamous because they've claimed so many cars and drivers. Whether it's a sharp corner, a wide sweeper, or a banking turn. A lot of them don't have a big grassy field to go sliding around on. A lot of them have a big concrete wall. It's got gouges in it. It's got scrapes, marks, chunks of concrete missing. That's where all the carnage happens, because it's always a battle to get to the corner and get through the corner. Nobody wants to give up their advantage, But bottom line is, one guy has to. And again, it's not a joke. A corner can mean fear for some drivers. It can mean anxiety for some drivers. It can mean that sweet emotion. It's like beautiful music. In some people's eyes, it can be the most terrifying experience in their life.